Hello everyone, happy Wednesday. Hello. We are continuing what I'm considering day 2 of the countdown. Hello, how are you? Yes, we are continuing day 2 of the countdown to my website relaunch. And today I am going to share with you a few reasons why you should design and create things with mobile in mind. So I'm still setting up here, streaming live on Instagram right now, but I'm also going to set up so that I can stream on Facebook as well. I've been doing this for the last few days, and I think I've kind of got into a good groove. So for future reference, I will be able to implement this setup and keep things moving. So thank you for joining me tonight, and whether you're able to stay for just a little bit or stay the whole time, I appreciate the love and you just taking some time out of your day to stop by and say hello or wave to me. I'm gonna try this slideshow again. Last night something happened where it swapped out my face into where it swapped out where my face was and replaced it with the picture. So I'm hoping that I don't do that again, but at some point I'm gonna figure out how to get it back to the way that I want it to be. So just bear with me for another minute or two while I get set up on live on Facebook as well. Things are really intensifying, but I think that what I've been seeing I know the news isn't everything, but what I've been seeing reported on the news and even kind of seeing for myself, driving around the area, that our voices are being heard, and not only heard on the front line, but they're being heard via different communication methods, social media, social media, emails, different communities. Our voices are being heard. So that is definitely something positive, but of course we all know there is a lot of work that still needs to be done. So yeah. How was everyone's day so far? If you're here on live with me while I am getting this thing set up, let me put up this slide. Okay. I gotta get y'all started, get y'all ready. Oh no! It's a little fuzzy because I'm gonna take that down. I am going to take that down. Let's try another one. Is this one? Okay, this one's okay. Oh, boo. Okay, we'll do this one then. Oh, that's how you okay, I figured it out, y'all. That's the blessing that I did, that I figured it out. Okay, we good now. We are good. Okay, go live now. Camera permission. What? Okay. All right. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and get started on here. Not sure why it, technology, man, technology. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's not going live on Facebook. Okay, now it's working. All right, let's go. Okay, here we go. So yeah, let's get this going. All right. So today I am coming to you all and I am sharing a few reasons why you should create and design whatever content you have with mobile with mobile in mind. All right. And I'll say it one more time for my Facebook people. Come on. All right. So let's get going. So one of the first reasons why you should always design and create with mobile in mind is because almost everybody has access to some type of mobile device. I don't want to assume that everyone has a mobile device because I know definitely here in the United States we have access to a lot of things. So it's very commonplace that almost everyone you run into will have either a smartphone or some type of tablet or a laptop, smart TV. These are just a few examples that I included below, as well as technology that is being created behind the scenes that's on its way to market. So we have the ability to access information, to share information, to create digital items, digital graphics, digital notes, digital recordings, audio recordings. We have these devices at our disposal that we can use as resources to communicate and share content with people. So with that in mind, your content should be designed in a way that is edible and enjoyable. And my computer just went out, but it's okay. I'm here with y'all. So your content should be designed in a way that is edible and enjoyable for whoever is consuming your content. So what does that mean? What does that mean? You want whoever is viewing your content to have a good overall experience from start to finish. From start to finish. You want them to be able to access your content easily. So for the example that I'm using, I have a website. I want it to be so that when someone clicks onto my page, my website page, or any of my links that I put out there to the webosphere, I want them to be able to access my website or be taken to my website quickly, and also that the content will appear quickly and it doesn't take too much time for my site to load, and also they're able to navigate to whatever it is that I want to share with them. And if there isn't something in particular that I'm sharing with them, I want them to be able to navigate throughout my page or my website with ease. So that's what I mean when I say when you're designing your content, you want to consider and design it in a way that the end result is editable. It can be consumed by your viewers very easily, And you also want them to enjoy whatever it is that they're consuming. You don't want it to just they get whatever it is and it feels like they're in a classroom, or they've gone back to school and they're about to take an exam. You don't want it to feel like that. You want it to be enjoyable. So yeah, design your content in a way that is fun. It's it's valuable to whoever will be consuming your information. Secondly, why you should design and create with mobile in mind. The content and layout on your website will affect the overall experience of your user. So, similar to what I just mentioned, when someone comes to my website, I don't want them to get lost in my page or my website. I don't want them to get caught up in the fact that my page is taking forever to load. When that happens, they're more likely to, man, I don't have time for this. I'm gonna go to this other page that loads much faster and I can get the information that I need. So there are a few things that affect the experience of your user and that affect the speed of your website, and we'll get into those next. So these are just a few that came immediately to me when I was thinking about, well, what kind of things am I working on in my website that I know can improve the overall experience of my website. Big thing. And all of these things, I'm always working on them to improve my site, but I have had failures with each of these different areas over the lifetime of my website. So first one are your graphics and your images. Images, I know this as a photographer, when you're shooting in a raw format, that is like the image file format that has all of the information you could ever think of. Those files are not small. And so I understand that from a photographer's perspective, but an ordinary person, you might be aware of megabytes or files that are only a few megabytes. When your email provider like Gmail, they limit you to attachments to 25 megabytes. One image that I take can take up 25 megabytes or more. So try to connect the dots with that comparison that I gave you. I don't want every single image that I place on my site to take up 25 megabytes, because if I have over 50 images on my site combined, you multiply that by 25 megabytes, that's a lot of space that my site needs to be able to keep up with loading those high resolution, high storage images. And as a result of having large images or high resolution, high image file size, there you go, image file sizes that are really high, that's going to slow down my website. So I have to be very mindful of which particular images I want to share on my website, as well as what are the sizes of the images that I'm sharing. So graphics and images are kind of combined together, but going a step forward, some people use and incorporate videos into their website. So in the case of videos, you want to make sure that your website is able to accommodate for a high processing speed for your videos, which also have a large file size. So being mindful of how many videos you're including, on to your website? Will you have your videos playing consecutively in a looped fashion? And also, will your site require videos to be loaded each and every time, or is it just it plays one time and then it stops? Like those kind of things you have to keep in mind, and they affect the site of your speed. Another thing that affects the site of your speed is the layout, the actual layout of your site. How are things organized on your site? Are they in grids? Are they stacked on top of each other? Are they, do you have a complicated layout, or do you have a layout that's very minimalistic? So when you compare a complicated layout to a minimalistic layout, your minimalistic layout is going to run much faster than your complicated layout with multiple moving parts, or oh, you click this, it converts to another element of your page. So those things paired with the 3 items that I listed previously, graphics, images, and videos, that's going to affect your site speed. And then lastly, I would say another item that affects the site of your speed, the speed of your site, is the breadth of your site. So what I mean by that is, how many pages do you have in your site, and how many links are a part of those pages? So that could be links to like your blogs, links to your shops. How many physical pages do you have that make up your entire website? So if you have 3 pages that make up your website, that's cool, but that doesn't mean that your site is going to be really fast. It all depends on what you have on those 3 pages. Or your page could be 10 to 15 pages worth that make up your website, but each of those pages has something very simple on each page. So that doesn't guarantee that your site is going to be very slow. It all depends on what elements you include on your page. So if you are following me and you kind of get an idea of what you're going on, just comment an emoji below. I would love to hear, like, how are you feeling as far as your very own website design, or your content, whatever content that you share, whether it's images, videos. How do you feel with regards to that? Are you designing for mobile? Are you designing for mobile? I'd love to know. Okay. So the last thing that I want to focus on is that another reason why you should design with mobile in mind, remembering that almost everyone has access to a mobile device and has information at their disposal, you should consider who is consuming your content and how they'll receive it. So right now, you are listening to me give a live on Instagram. So you're consuming this live stream through your phone. You're using the Instagram app, or you are on your computer or your tablet, and you're viewing this content right now. So I have thought that out. How am I going to deliver this message, and how is this set up in a way that I can deliver this content in a way that is entertaining? So that's the same thing that you need to do, or at least consider. How are you going to deliver your content, and flip it to the viewer end? How are they consuming the content? How are they going to receive the content? And you keep that in your mind so that when you're creating something, it fits well with whatever content that you're delivering. So, here are a few questions that I have for you to consider whenever you're going to share something or create something that you want to put out there for the world to consume. What type of content are you sharing? Is it going to be an image, a video, a blog, a website, a landing page, postcards, a book, you name it? What content are you sharing in the first place? And what platform are you going to use to share it? So, are you using your website? Are you using Instagram? Are you using Facebook? Are you using your email, a newsletter? Are you using you're gonna use a publishing company to distribute your book? How are you going to share your content? And then what is the ideal what's the ideal image size if you're sharing images? What size are you going to share it in? I know when Instagram first came out on the scene, it was only squares. You could only use squares. So now we're able to share images that are in landscape format, that are rectangular, not so much the perfect square. And we're also able to share videos that are longer than 15 seconds and that are even longer than 1 minute. And now we have this really cool feature where we can do live streams as well, which can, well, for the account that I have, the business account, we can do up to 1 hour at a time. So what is the ideal image size of the content that you're sharing? That can play into, when you share it, what will it look like? So I'm using the example of Instagram once again. When I share a portrait picture, that means a vertical picture, how is it going to show up on my feed versus when I share a landscape picture on my feed? It's going to alter the way it looks. And when you mix in different styles of having that perfect square portrait versus a vertical portrait and a landscape image, when you mix all those together, your feed is going to look a little different. So it really boils down to how you want to present it, how you want to share it with the world. And there's no right way to do it, but if you know who you are trying to reach or who you're speaking to, that can help you in the design process of knowing who your end user or viewer will be. And then, are you saving your images in a format that is web resolution? And what I mean by that is you're saving it so that it is 72 dots per inches. There you go. So that is some photography tech jargon right there. But you have your web resolution, which allows you to save your images in a way that still have great quality, but they're sized properly for web resolution to be viewed on the web. So that way, when you save them at web resolution, there you go. When you save it at the web resolution, you're able to share beautiful images without taking up a lot of space because of the image file size. So web resolution images are ideal for websites because they don't take up as much space on your website, and that enables your website to run faster. And then I mentioned this before, how are you composing or how are you presenting your content? Will it be in portrait, like how you see my video right now, or is it going to be flipped and be in landscape, which is like your horizontal frame? Those play a part in how your content is perceived and consumed. So a lot of these things I consider as I am, or have considered as I am redesigning my website and bringing it over to my new editor, because I want to create a great experience for anyone who comes to my website or has questions or just wants to view my pictures or read my blogs. I want their experience to be a good one. And so with that, I also want to share a few different tips as it relates to really making sure that your content is compatible with mobile devices, because that's where most people are viewing their content. And as it relates to my website being seen on mobile devices, as well as your website being on mobile devices, I would highly encourage that you perform multiple tests of your content or your website, and send yourself previews of the content. So what I typically do, let's say with my website right now in its current state, whenever I am preparing to republish the site, I will preview it on the web from my laptop, or I'll preview it from my desktop. But I go to my Instagram, I pull up my phone, go to my Instagram, and then I click on my links from my Instagram profile. I'll do it from like my personal profile. I'll click on the link, and then I will pretend as if I am the user. I'm the person navigating my website, and click on different pages and see how it comes up, how fast it loads, and what are some kinks that I noticed that need to be fixed, like ASAP, before someone else can catch it and point it out. So I'm always testing my site. And one example is, let's say my landing page, my main landing page, Imprints by MSJ.com/connect, right? When I click on that, in the past, I would have these graphics that link to, that link to different components that the users can go to. So sign up for my newsletter, or view the latest blog, or book me, work with me, or what's another one? Grab the freebie calendar, right? When I first set that up, I noticed that my graphics were large and they were just all over the place, and it did not look pretty. It did not look the way that I set it up when I was designing for a website. On my host, which is Wix, it has an option where you can click to design for mobile. So everything that you design on your website, it transfers to mobile, but you have to make sure you go to mobile view to see how what you set up in website looks on mobile. So I had to do that quite a few times just to make sure that my landing page was the way that I intended for it to look, not only on the website but also on mobile. So that goes to my second point. Make sure that what you want to be seen can actually be seen. And you do this by previewing all of your pages, or previewing your content. And I'll also suggest a few more things that can help you if you're sharing images or videos that can help you preview your content before you actually post it. Oh, and look, there you go. Check your landing pages on your mobile device as well. So use whatever devices you have accessible to you to check what you are designing. for your website. And then lastly, those apps that you can use to preview your content, the ones that I have used in the past and am currently using now, I started with Unum. It's UNUM. It's a free app that you can use. You can connect your Instagram profiles, and I don't know, you may be able to connect like your Facebook or your Twitter. I mostly use it for Instagram. I'll have to double check that. But you can use that to preview what your grid will look like. So if you have a series of pictures that you want to share, but you want to make sure you get the right lineup, you can use that app to arrange your pictures how you want them to show up on your feed. And you can also add captions and hashtags and save those as well, so that it saves you some time with creating things from scratch and on the spot. You can load them up and you can share them when you want to. And similarly, another app called Planoly, which I recently started using as an alternative to Unum. I kind of use both of them, and just whichever one I feel like using that day, I'll use it. But you can do the same thing. You can, schedule your images to be shared. You can load up your captions, and you can arrange your pictures and get an idea of how your feed will look once you post everything. So those are just a few tips that I can share with you as far as making sure that what you put on your site, your blog, your newsletter, whatever the case may be, that you're keeping in mind how it's going to look on mobile, because most people are using mobile devices. So, last question that I have for you to think about, or you can answer and share with me. Feel free to comment. I will share this video on the IGTV, so feel free to comment when you get to this point. But what words do you about what you share? And I'll repeat that again because we had some interruptions in the reception. What words do you want people to use about what you share? So when you share something, what do you want people to say about your content? I'll give some examples. Oh man, that was such a beautiful portrait. Oh, that portrait is breathtaking. Oh, that portrait has a timeless feel to it. That blog post you wrote was so exciting and it really inspired me. Oh, I want to read this book because of you. Those are just a few examples. What words do you want people to say about your content? And what do you hope for them to get out of consuming your content, whether it's on mobile, mobile device, or on a computer or a desktop? What will they say? So just keep those things in mind when you're creating content or you're creating images and so on for that you plan to share with the public. How are you going to best share your message and incorporate how the user will experience it to improve their experience? And that's all I could ever hope for, is that whatever I'm sharing with someone, that they can get something out of it, or they can leave feeling inspired or uplifted. That's what I hope. I want from start to finish that they have a good experience. And I know I'm not perfect and we all make mistakes, but I do my best to keep those things in the back of my mind so that I'm always looking out for them and correcting them as best as I can. So that is all I have for today. I want to thank you once again for coming to the virtual party. I appreciate you joining me for these last, 4 days because we started on Sunday. Thank you for joining me, and I pray that, after coming here, that you have a little bit of sunshine in your life despite everything that's going on in our world right now. So stay safe out there. That's all. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Just stay safe out there and know that God loves you, and we will all get through this together. So on that note, have a great night and take care. Alrighty.